Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placements. Let's get into it. So the first card for today you have Aries is number 45 and it says like a bubble. So the number 4, 5 and 9 are coming through important with this energy. So like a bubble. What is a bubble? It's weightless. It floats. It rises. Depending on what kind of bubble it is it a soap bubble? Is it a water bubble? All bubbles will rise. Right? Because they're so light, some float in the air and pop, it vanishes in a second. So some of you might be, at the beach just relaxing, or at the spas in water bodies, relaxing yourself, having a spa therapy, or having, these silent retreats where you can just, float in pools. Or there is a flotation therapy also, which is available today, like the psychedelics. So those flotation therapies are also available today for us to feel light, for just releasing the weight, for not, focusing on thoughts. So for you, Aries, I feel at this point in time that you might be just feeling like a lot of thoughts are just coming up and falling, just like the bubbles. So I feel that, bubbles also is a mode of kind of dissolution, like the bubbles just dissolve into thin air. So dissolving attachments to things, I feel that you are dissolving your attachment to things. I also feel that you're no longer fixated because we cannot catch bubbles, we cannot hold them in our palms. Yeah, for a second, but as soon as they touch the palm, for the most part, they just pop off and disappear. So you're just, just staying, you're just like living one day at a time. And you're not like fixated on your goals or timings. I need to do this by this time and this by that time and things like that. You're just letting yourself be, taking one day at a time, handling things as they come. And that's, it's like, because plans, I feel that maybe you're just like, doing your thing because you feel that sometimes, whatever you plan, maybe it doesn't happen accordingly and there's a difference of plans. So what's the point in planning or having those extensive plans? For some of you, you might be just believing in, different ways of life. Or it's like you're not associating yourself with any kind of status or any kind of job or any kind of hustle that you might be doing, just like Aries, because you're the fire sign, you're the cardinal fire, you initiate, you push through, you work hard, you put in the work. Sometimes you get overworked, but I feel that you might be feeling a little bit like, what's the purpose of it all? Because you're not fixated on like status and this, that, and the third at my workplace or things like that. You're just like, you're happy where you are. You're just being you. You are not your achievements. You're just, you feel like you're a tiny bubble in this ocean. And, in Tibetan philosophy, for those who don't know, there is something called as a ritual which when I was reading their books, it was called Ripa. And it stuck with me because that's what monks, they use in their vision boards. They use they visualize the bubbles in meditation practices. It's just like how thoughts will come up and then they will dissolve. Pop, it goes. And another thought comes up and pop, it goes. Right? So I feel that similarly, like, recently we all went through a pandemic, right? And when people were locked down, they started thinking about like, what do they want for themselves? Do you want to go back to work? Because we had a huge resistance of people going back to work. People wanted to work remotely more. So that was this collective bubble moment where everybody's reflecting on what they want for themselves. They don't want to live superficial lives. They want to be very authentic, do what they want. And some of them really dropped from their job positions. They resigned because they wanted to go their different way. They wanted to follow their truth and their heart and not just do things for the, sake of doing. So I feel that for those of you are aligning, you might be doing things, you might be having goals, not just for goals, like not for the sense of achievement, but just because your soul wants to do something, because it's aligned with your soul, not because you want to wear a cap and, march around with your accolades, not because of that. Whatever work you're putting in right now is not for the accolades, it's not for the status, it's not for the titles. It's because your soul and your heart wants you to do that work. Is why you're engaging in things. So there's huge identity shifts. What I'm getting with this, a lot of you might be detaching from a lot of things or downsizing, the things that you have. Some of you might be even detoxing from digital arena, like apps or social media. For some of you, you might be detaching from that as well. And your happiness is just in simply being, not by having titles or by having accomplishments. So I feel that you're in a self bubble. You're in a bubble of your own world. Next, you have Aries as the Trine card, and it further says angelic support, harmony, and perfect flow. So trines happen when the planets are like 120 degrees apart. It's shown here in the circle above on the top left-hand corner. So it's like maybe in the fire signs, like mostly the trines are happening like fire to fire or water to water or air to air. So it's that kind of an energy, which is also known as the angel's kiss of the cosmos, trine, because it's a blessing. It the energy flows. It helps you to heal. It helps you to overcome obstacles, and things line up for you. It's like the angels are supporting, the angels are pushing through. Like, for example, if you start a fashion line, you'll find the right models, you'll find the right guests, you'll find the right funding, and you'll be able to promote, seamlessly, effortlessly. Everything lines up. So it's just like, that things are aligned with your soul path or with your path here, your higher path over here on this earth. So things might be moving fast, whether on the art scene, if you're having fashion lines or art exhibits, or you're creating some business and everything works fine. You're getting crowdfund, you're getting the funding, you're getting the right marketing, the right people to back you up and things like that. For some of you, you are partnering up with people that are like-minded, that feel very much aligned to your values and soul. So it's like, it's a more focused and, a wave of energy that is, that you can ride on right now, Aries, rather than pushing through. Sometimes you have to push through very hard, but Trine energy is like more conducive, supported, like the angels supporting, creating harmony in your, in your environment or in your heart or in your, around you, right? It's the grace of the divine. It's the blessing. So I feel that you're very soon you'll see that you are making progress in a peaceful, harmonious way without being pressured onto it. Maybe you have a good boss who is now allowing you, double the time to finish the task. So you're easily going, you're taking your time and finishing the task instead of feeling pressured. So it's like the cosmic green light. Maybe your team has changed, or maybe you're put on a lighter project, or you work in a company where people are very supportive and helpful and things like that. So you get the opportunity to do work the way you want it to. You can lead yourself, your ideas, and it's going to be a very good time for evolution in terms of your personal evolution and for your career evolution, and also in general. It's a time of growth and progress and evolution. Next card you have Aries is number 13. It says hidden. Further, it says wisdom, elementals, fairy, and uncover. So uncovering things. You look at the picture. There's all blue and black and all twilight colors over here. Look at the expression on this girl's face. Like she's seeing something, she's uncovering something, and she's like, whoa, what? So discovering things, I feel you might discover certain truths, discover certain skills that could be in yourself. You could see something on the outside that stuns and, surprises you. Some of you could be doing some kind of detective work. It doesn't have to be like, poking your nose into other people's business, but just like trying to see, if it's, for example, if it's in regards to a relationship, you feel something fishy, you're trying to see like what could be the motive behind it. If somebody's gaslighting you, or Maybe you're trying to see why the person's hiding this, that, and that. It could be in n number of ways, but for some of you, this could be like going out into the fields like this, like you might be actually hiking, where you see yellow plants or things like that, or farms. Some of you might be taking to natural practices or nature-based practices. That could be spiritual, that could be moon work, whatever that is. And some of you might just be, following a passion, really, maybe a passion that you wanted to follow for a long time. Maybe it was your childhood dream. Now you're switching careers or following that passion. But something is what make you happy. Something is, some of you might be actually into, animals and fae and messages or astrology and tarot. But this is about seeing with your heart's eyes, not with your actual eyes. It's like feeling things, even though things may not be said loud and clear, but then knowing that, even there is power in the unseen. We can't see what's going on, but you can tell for sure, you can feel it. You might be, into cosmic laws or studying about nature or studying about the cosmos and stars or the elements the elements in the world and all of those invisible forces that that play out in our lives. Some of you could be into ancestral things or reading about your family tree, connecting the dots, or reading about your ancestry. For some of you, this could be journaling. You could be writing something that's personal to you in a journal, making a daily journal. Some of you could be actually into meditation practices or spiritual retreats and things like that. But something that you're trying to uncover or figure out. It could be patterns or hidden motives of people. Finding things. It could be that you've lost something in your house and you're trying to find that. And you're like, oh, wow, here it is. I mean, I never thought I would find it over here. Maybe you lost the key. Maybe you lost something that you had purchased, but then now you don't remember where it is. So something like that, I've seen people discover so much inside of their house, maybe especially if they move into their ancestral homes or the grandmother's place or things like that, they discover so much from the ancestors or the great grandparents or grandparents. Some of you could be uncovering that, maybe some hidden suitcases, and you open, you're like, oh my God, it's biting the dust. But when you open, there's so much treasure in it. Where some of you might be actually trying to understand what's going on, what are the planetary alignments that are causing things to happen in your life. Some of you could be just discovering things under the ocean, finding things and, vaccines and medicines or things like that. Something related to nature, wisdom, the wisdom that you carry, Aries. It could be elemental. You could be reading up about elements, but something about the unseen world, because it's all about fairies and birds and nature and, nighttime, twilight and things like that. So strong mystical energies. And the last card for today, Aries, you have is number 18, Major Arcana. It says the moon. So the moon themes are very much here for you. It's like, the moon is our mind. It's our emotions. You could have moon prominent placements in your chart, but this is about emotions, right? Seeing what you feel emotionally. There's something that you could be uncovering, some truth that you probably kept hidden from yourself or buried, or maybe uncovering information outside in your external world as well. But moon is like about trusting your gut feeling, trusting your intuition, trusting the unseen. When it comes to the moonlight, it's not as bright as the sunlight. So it's a time to slow down, to think, to rethink, to evaluate, reevaluate. But at the same time, it strengthens your faith, because not everything is visible under the moonlight, right? So it's a time where you can slow down and observe, and then don't have to react immediately. You can just sit down with that information, or sleep on the information and things like that, and have faith that every single day is bringing you closer or taking you on a path that you're meant to walk. it might be unclear right now to some of you, like, where are we going? But then this thing will unfold to you very soon. It could be that people in your office, you're questioning them, like, one day they're one way, another day they're another way. So you're trying to figure out, like, what is wrong with this team or this person? Like, they're swing like a pendulum from one extreme to another. What's going on? You could be trying to figure that out. You could be trying to figure what's going on at your workplace. You might feel that up top, not everything's clear at company meetings. They're hiding something. You could be trying to uncover that. For some of you, you could be doing night work, like at the moon rituals or honoring the moon. In some cultures, they do honor the moon, but it's a time to be observant, be vigilant, get all the information, and then make those decisions patiently, and then act. It's not a time for immediately acting because it's not the sunlight. Not everything is visible to you right now. Especially when you trust the intuition. We trust the intuition, especially when you're in the dark. We trust it, like, I feel it a certain way, even though I don't have records, I don't have data, and I cannot prove it, but I feel it in my bones, that kind of an energy. Some of you might be into moon practices, spirituality, astrology, and tarot as well. But there is something about, the moon fascination. You could be reading up about the moon. You could see there's a moon on this person's hair, that big giant hair she has on her head. And owls, there are so many owls over here. So owl is wisdom, you're seeing in the dark, seeing through illusions. Some of the things might have been hidden or not, hidden from you or from the world, and this could even be in the world, some things that were hidden from public and are now being revealed to the public, major declarations even. For some of you, this could be like you're actually creating something related to the moon and stars, maybe you're pinning it out, or you're following things about the moon phases and things like that. But it could be that you're walking outside in the moon a lot and soaking in on the moon energies. Some of you could be actually getting premonitions, it happens. Like some people, I cannot remember that exactly, but I think it was somebody on TikTok who predicted and pregnancy to someone based on the moon phases. It could be that accurate as well. But some fascination about the moon could be, you could be into NASA and things like that, or moon missions. There's Artemis missions going on and things like that. But a lot of nature, moon, and rituals and spirituality as well. So thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.